All right, boys, we're here with 110. We have team list on the right, over the camera in the bottom left-hand corner. Let me get the link shared and we'll get rolling. Gonna be 2 jumbos, 2 museum collection, Archives Interest Series, and a hobby. I mentioned it earlier when I was breaking the last break. We will be throwing up a full case of blasters tomorrow. First time I ever ran a retail break. Actually, that's a lie. Our third break ever in Charm City Collectibles was 3 select megas of 2020 football. But that was the last time we ever ran a retail break. So it's been about 3 years. But it looked like almost 20. I think it's. I gotta go look at it. I think almost 20 of you guys voted for it. I'm gonna go find the poll right now. Actually, let me share these links and then I'll do it. But I think almost 20 of you guys voted. Maybe over 20 of you guys. And with that many votes, I mean, why not? Share these links up. I was gonna say it's definitely not a bad thing. I just prefer hobby boxes. I think they're. Well, now I think the blasters might actually have some value, but in general, I've always thought hobby just for breaks has. Let's see. Got that. Let everybody give a second to get in here. I'm trying to see what this poll actually looks like. I haven't looked at it in a while. 29 votes. Yeah, 22 people said yes. 6 guys that said no. I understand why they said no, but yeah, it seemed like a lot more guys wanted in than not in, so we'll do it. Alright, anyways, guys, let's get rolling into this one. We got my man Cal Ripken Jr. here, Project 2020. Ben Baller to the card. He's our good luck charm around here. Give him a nice rub on these 6 hobbies and the 1 national pack. I didn't show the national pack, but I'm sure you can see it just dangling over there. I'm going to put it to the side so it doesn't fall down in the crack like it did last break, because that was pretty shitty. Let's get into a hobby to start. Good luck to everybody. Hobby box to start. Hopefully everybody's having a good night. Hey, how you doing, Manny? Hopefully you've been good watching your pride and joy Mason Miller pitch. I mean, the A's actually haven't been that. I mean, for what they are, they haven't been that terrible this year. Obviously, they're not a good baseball team in general, but they won more games. I thought they would be the worst team in Major League Baseball, and they're not, so that's a positive, I guess. Who's that? The A's? The White Sox been doing God's work in this AL Central, keeping all those teams competitive when they shouldn't be. It's wild. You got Max Scherzer to start us off, Lane Thomas, DeLuca, Ronnie Mauricio, Arenado, Lowe, Sassoni, Chisholm Jr., Wheeler, Hader. We have Walter, Senga, Nimmo, Ruiz, Ohapi, Riley Green, Alcantara, Pete Alonso, Rutledge, Eddie Rodriguez, Alvarez, Terang, Acuna Jr., Lindor, Reynolds, Blade, Colt Keith, Owen White. We're going to have Musgrove, Andrew McCutchen, Yoshida, De La Cruz, Pipiat, Guerrero Jr., Jackson Churio, Torres, J.P. Crawford, Justin Steele, Yu Darvish on the Fuchsia Speckle. Out of 350 to the Padres, we have Marte, Castellanos, Bailey, Abreu, Coco Montez, Lewis, Stanton, Robert Jr., Trout, Ruiz, Yelich, Cruz, and Jose Rodriguez. And Xander Bogaerts, Josh Jung, Steer, Henderson, Schmidt, Joe Boyle. We have Kessinger for the Astros. That's going to go to Brian Thomas. Probably not the Astro he was looking for, but nonetheless. We have Harper, Seager, Raleigh, Lugo. We have Ohtani on the strokes. Cruz, Bichette, Spires, Wyatt Langford on the refractor. Burns, Matsui, Pena, Judge, Verdugo, Marte, Luciano, and Basabe. Basabe, I think it's Basabe. We have Turner, Diaz, Betts, Garcia, Gore, Frelick, Castillo, Goldschmidt, Yammer Candelario. We have a 13 out of 99 Johnny DeLuca, because this guy likes to be in everything. Going to the Rays on the green wave. All right, Brian, just go back to bitching. It's super awkward if you're going to be nice. Just bitch about whatever. We have Ellie De La Cruz. We have JT Realmuto, Yu Darvish, Hancock, Funderburk, Lindor, Volpe, Bellinger, and Witt Jr. Get into the Topps Archive Signature Series. It's actually a dope card because this is the one year where Bowman's Best, some of their inserts were good. But it's a 101 Will Smith going to the Dodgers. And Brent getting some closer's luck, taking the Rangers, hits the Dodgers, 101 Will Smith. If you look him up, JB Avila will probably buy that from you because he's like, I think he's building a Will Smith PC. I don't know if he has any Guardian stuff to trade you, but I know he's been looking around. Every time somebody saying they have Dodgers, he always asks for Will Smith. I think he's still in the group. He left at one point. I don't know if he came back or not. Stop keeping tabs on him. I like JB a lot. Just I know that he started complaining about the Dodgers price and bowed out of a lot of break groups because the Dodgers are on the higher end of things with Yamamoto. Although they'll probably get price adjusted here in the next couple sets of cards. His Yamamoto stuff is still hot, but it's kind of like Lee. It has died off a little bit because of the injury. The thing that keeps it high in Chrome is obviously the Ohtanis. Because I was looking, I was like, man, if Ohtani slumps at all, like, you have to worry. Yeah, I was getting there, Brad. I was going to say you just beat me to it because there's a little bit of delay. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about other things like Tier 1 or whatever else. Not Tier 1, like Museum Collection, right? Like, they probably need adjusted because of, like, there's no way. There's not a lot of Ohtani ink in there, so, like, the price can't stay high because there's not an Ohtani, but like let's say I got to look at Finest. If Ohtani signed in Finest, then they can stay up in the price point they are. Because Ohtani's stuff is like just absolutely fucking bonkers. It's nuts. There's a chance Ohtani could do 50-50 if he steals enough bases. Because he's going to hit 50 home runs, I think. We have Samad Taylor. Then we'll put some with Barry Bonds. So I was going to say we have Baker, CES, Horner, Mullins, Murphy, Nimmo, Ruiz, Hader, Arenado, J-Rod, Rojas. It's very limited. It's like one of those, like, he has like I think he has some dual inks with like Ichiro. We have Rojas. He doesn't have a lot though. He doesn't have like an archival, like he normally used to have like an archival with Mike Trout. So he'd have like pretty much like what the base autograph is with Trout, even though they wouldn't put like the whole thing in there. It might only be numbered up to like 150 or whatever. But he doesn't have like any of that stuff, I don't think. We have Jack Leiter. I got to double check. Pereira, Jackson Merrill, Lopez, Dane Myers, Will Smith. It's definitely more like insert autographs, though. We have Dylan Cease, Francisco Alvarez, Terang, Alcantara, Pete Alonso, Arozarena, and Eddie Rodriguez. We have Lee on the refractor, Rafaela, Lopez, Bryant, Doyle, Bregman, Greinke, McCutcheon, Brian Reynolds, J.J. Bleday, Acuna, Tovar, Reese Olson for the Tigers on the base autograph. See, Charles finally got the Tigers. We're going to have Austin Riley, De La Cruz, Sheehan. We have Wynn, Uribe, Ornelas. We have Turner, India, Vladdy Jr., Wheeler, Musgrove, J-Dom, Owen White, and Cano. Got Noelvi, Marte, Millis, Marlowe, PCA, Merrill. Or Morel, I mean. He got traded to the Rays. I was surprised about that trade. We're going to have Rodriguez, Gallen, Neto, JP Crawford, PPOT, PCA. Got Matt Olson on the Aqua Lava. It's going to be a 38 out of 199. Tristan Casas, Canario, Vines, Outman, Tim Anderson, Royce Lewis, Stanton, Castellanos, Bailey. We have Shota, Eminaga on the all etch rookie rush for the Cubbies. Let's go to Ed Gonzo. Nice little hit there. We have Volpe, Kershaw, Montez, and Mookie Betts. Gomez, Buckler, Jaloff, Williams, McMahon, Altuve, Raggins, Jong, Ruiz, Yelich, Perez. We have Nick Robertson on the purple speckle, going to go to the Red Sox, and that's going to go to Gabe. 48 out of 299. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it's really a price thing, right? I mean, obviously, Chrome Jumbos are the same price as a museum collection hobby box. I tried to explain that. Somebody was talking to me about, like, damage, the cards, and breaks. I was trying to explain that for whatever reason, especially in Series 2, and I think I have some Series 1, actually, it's like every thick card. I don't know who the hell's packing the cards. No, this is like a wood from, I mean, this is Series 1, don't get me wrong, but this is a thin one. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I have a thick one sitting here, but it's like every thick autograph has like damage to it. I don't know who the hell's packing everything, dude. It's like they're just jamming it in the packs. Like, I don't understand. Like, I haven't seen so much corner and edge wear on cards that are 130 point or thicker other than this year. It's been ridiculous. Like, and I know they normally don't grade well. I just feel like it's been worse than it has been in prior years. The rest of it has been really good in the sense of like the printing hasn't been peeling off. Like, I remember a couple years ago with Triple Threads, the whole back was peeling off. We have Glasnow, Mauricio, Horwitz, Lawler, Flaherty, Suzuki, Avado, Seager, Raleigh, Schmidt, Bogarts, Shohei, Rodriguez, and Salvador Perez. Montez, White, Rodriguez, Moreno, Goriel Jr., Devers, Matsui, Cruz, Bichette. We have Jackson Holiday, Devers. We have Ketel Marte. I mean, obviously, if Jackson Holiday keeps getting hits, the Orioles are gonna have to go up in price, right? You can't have an all-star and the number one prospect actually doing well and their price stays stagnant either. We have 57 out of 150 on the blue. Charlie Blackmon, Basabe, Langford, Rodriguez, Yoshida, Acuna Jr., Ohapi, Sissoni, Verdugo, Marte, Burns, Verlander, Wyatt Langford on the Prism, and McLean. We have J-Dom, Phillips, Kirkeren, Funderburk, Steer, Robert Jr., Steele, Gore, Springer, Turner, J-Dom. I'm going to get a third autograph here. Connor Phillips. On the base autograph going to the Reds. We have Dansby, Swanson, Reese Olson, Soderstrom, Candelario, Diaz, Pena, Lugo, Darvish, Goldschmidt, Garcia, Judge, Morel, Basabe, and Neto. That's going to be the jumbo. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember the National League back in the day. He used to hit a lot. He had a decent batting average, too, for a pitcher. I think he batted over 200 a couple seasons. Into the first mini box for this first box of museum collection. Got Bobby Witt Jr. on the bronze, Chipper Jones, Ichiro, Langford, and then we have Adrian Beltre on the memorabilia. 21 out of 35 for the Rangers and Brent. Man, I saw someone selling the red Beltre from Topps Chrome PSA 10 for like 100-some bucks or $200 or something. And I wish I would have saw it earlier. I would have bought it in a heartbeat. We have Wade Boggs. I have J. Ram, Eddie Murray. We have Lee. And then we have Jazz Chisholm Jr., 6 out of 20 to the Marlins. That's going to go to Brian Thomas. Who this guy can't miss. Literally just taking random-ass teams he never takes and hits a Jazz Chisholm Jr. on the 6 out of 20. You're fucking kidding me. Guy's on, like, the biggest heater ever, yo. You should just go to Vegas, like, this weekend. And just fucking play craps or fucking... I don't even know, man. I know I was bending you over for like 2 weeks, which, I mean, obviously I have no control of that. But this guy, I'm telling you, we're going to have to make Shut the Fuck Up Brian shirts. Like, it's getting bad around here. I am actually working on a company for some merchandise, so we'll definitely have shirts in the next like month or two. We have Roy Campanella in a 9 out of 50. We'll have to double check on them tomorrow because the person's supposed to do the design and they haven't got back to me yet. We're going to have Altuve, Aaron Judge, Honus Wagner. We're going to have Lindor and Alonso. Close to the Yankees, same city, 87 out of 99 on the memorabilia. You have a Rosarena on the bronze, Mauer, David Ortiz, Albert Pujols, and we got Edgar Martinez. 25 out of 50 to the Mariners. That's going to go to Hunter Edwards. Let me sit there. Hall of Famer. Triple bat memorabilia. I mean, that's what he's known for, right? His bat. He's sure that only known for the glove. Bro, I'm telling you right now, you have to get... That's the only thing I've been telling the Humongous Horde guy. He needs to get the notched sleeves. I was like, I don't care if you got to produce a bunch of them. I was like, dude, if you beat the price of card shells on those notched sleeves, I'm going to tell you right now, dude, like, you'll blow up. Like, you'll end up being one of the biggest... like classic distributors, because his prices are already better than everybody else's. The Humongous Horde guy in Maryland, he's based out of Columbia, and yeah, if he can just get, I was gonna say the only reason I go to card shells is because for the breaks I put all your guys' stuff in like UV for hits and stuff. I put everything in like UV top loaders, right? So Card Shells has that. Now Humongous Horde does sell premium top loaders, but the Card Shells guy realized that a lot of his like breakers and stuff started to like branch off, so he started to give us heftier discounts if we buy a couple cases at a time. And the Humongous Horde's UV light stuff is just too expensive compared to Card Shells for that, but I was gonna say the Humongous Horde stuff for like, if it's for like your other stuff, like the base and all that stuff, perfect. Their 35 points are way better than Card Shells 35-point top loaders too. We have Dominic Canzone, Lipsius, Cropley, Wicks, Jones, Jimenez, Torkelson, Hernandez, Walker, Bradley. We have Aaron Judge, Jordan Balasovic. Man, this guy was supposed to be so good. I have 264 out of 299 for the Twins. I have Zach Gallen, Henry Davis, Abbott, Kessinger, Sale, Henderson, Olsen, Rendon, Soler, Schwarber, Snell, De La Cruz, and Darvish. Grayson Rodriguez, Evan Carter, Meckler, Tenna, Kershaw, Chisholm Jr., Bo Naylor, Soto, Kirilloff, Buxton, Ramirez, Yuri Perez, J.P. Martinez for the Rangers. To the Rangers and Brett. Morel, Gray, Sal, Frank, J. Ram, Jones, Melendez, Scherzer, Thomas, Tatis Jr., Hayes, and J. Rod. We have Rillamuto, Anderson, Colton Cowser, Triolo, Jarvis, Wynn, Albies, Wall, Adams, Hader, Arenado, Lowe. We have Harper. Tyler, this is a nice hit right here. Tyler, sell. Sell the house on Tyler Fitzgerald. Green Wave. His stuff is still going bonkers. It's nuts. Going to Austin Fishback on the Green Wave. James Outman, Samad Taylor, Baker, CES, Horner, Mullins, Murphy, Nimmo, Ruiz, Wheeler, Walker, Robert, Volpe, and Cole Raggins. Yeah, dude, I didn't pay enough for him in fantasy. I think I told you guys this story. I was like, oh, I'm going to pay like 8 salary, and someone picked him up for like 11 or 12 salary. It's super late in the year to use that much on one guy. We have Pereira, Jackson Merrill, Lopez, Myers, Will Smith, Cease, Alvarez, Terrain, Alcantara, Alonso, Rafael Devers, and We have a league gold parallel going to Austin. I was going to say on the redemption. Gold parallel Lee on to Austin Fishback. Altuve, Wynn, Uribe, Rafaela, Lopez, Chris Bryant, Doyle, Bregman, Greinke, Reynolds, Blade, Chisholm Jr., and Lindor. Got Ryan, McMahon, De La Cruz, Sheehan, Ornelas, Turner, India, Pipiat, Guerrero Jr., Musgrove, McCutcheon, Lindor, Green. We got Wade, Meckler. It's just a Giants box right here. On the green for Meckler. I think what Brian said, he's back down in single A. Got Votto, Marlowe, PCA, Furman, Morel, Rodriguez, Gallen, Neto, Castellanos, Bailey, JP Crawford, and Ellie. We have Yamamoto on the Prism. Suzuki, Vines, Marte, Millis, Tuve, Raggins, Altman, Anderson, Yelich, Royce Lewis, Stanton, Noelvi Marte. What a fucking Giants box, bro. Holy hell. Luis Matos. Austin with the personal box for the San Francisco Giants. We have Rafael Devers, Butler, Jaloff, Williams, Canario, Votto, McMahon, Bogarts, Josh Jung, Keeper Ruiz, Henderson, Trout, PCA, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Sorry, boys. That one was marked from Fanatics. Supposed to go to Brian. I was going to say. Messed up and forgot about it. Put it in the mixer. No, just... Fanatics marked that one with a big GI on the bottom, so I knew it was a Giants box. Forgot about it. I'm really excited about that composite football that's coming out. By the way, guys, Trinity comes out Wednesday. I know that it's getting overshadowed by all the museum collection and Chrome. Finest comes out Wednesday too. I have 10 cases of Trinity. Trinity was supposed to come out last week no, it was supposed to come out the week before. Or the week before that. It was supposed to come out before Chrome. It was supposed to come out the week in between Chrome and Museum Collection, and it didn't. They pushed it back to the 7th. I think that was a bad idea, but just letting y'all know, I have a ton of Trinity coming. And I know that's a lot of your guys' not favorite, but it's one of your guys' favorite products. Probably most guys' favorite Leaf product. We have Mookie Betts. I'd have a price list out, but they come out with a fucking checklist, but they haven't yet. Pardon my language. We have Kowser, Mike Piazza, Hank Aaron. We have Max Muncy on the 76 out of 99. I'm not sure. I mean, I know why he signs because he's a Fanatic. So I found this out, Brian. The reason this guy still signs is he's a Fanatics exclusive signature. So they put him in some of the other stuff to beef up the checklist that has veterans in it. It just is what it is. He's a Fanatics athlete. Can't do anything about it. I don't think it's a 30% increase. I got to look at the price last year, Brad. I think it's... I think last year was $250 when it came out, or $230. It definitely increased more than it should have, but I don't think it's as much as you think it is. And I'm not just defending Topps. Like, it's still bullshit. It shouldn't have went up that much. We have Shohei Ohtani, 67 out of 150. I thought it was $249 when it came out, and $220 on pre-sale. I'm gonna look. I have pages archived. I'll let you know afterwards. I'll pull up the keyboard at the end of this break and I'll look it up real quick before I get off. Because I have some of the pages archived. Nice Ohtani for the Dodgers, by the way. We have Carroll, Randy Johnson, Jazz Chisholm Jr., 29 out of 49. I'll defend Topps and call them out all the same because a lot of people like to call out Topps over Bowman and then don't realize Bowman came out the price it was. And what happens is Bowman fluctuates really bad, right? Like Bowman, 2023 Bowman Chrome is still below what they sold it at on release day. We're going to have Acuna and Albies, 29 out of 49. But they'll complain and be like, oh, that's because the last year's is in the shitter. They'll be like, oh, it didn't come out at $300. Like, it did come out at $300. It's just the currentness of it is at $220 because it's a bunch of young guys in there. And they don't develop as quickly as possible. I have like a whole Wilman Diaz PSA 10 Rainbow. It hasn't been every product. That Museum Collection stayed the same price. Museum Collection was $400 last year. It was $400 this year. We have Alex Bregman. We have Olsen. Yogi Berra. Gunnar Henderson. Another Jazz Chisholm. 9 out of 299 this time, going to the Marlins and Bryant. But no, I do agree. Chrome went up this year. I was going to say I think Series 2 went up, if I'm not mistaken. Now the aftermarket prices this year have been absolutely ridiculous. Like go look at the Topps Chrome Soccer aftermarket prices. They're terrible. So high. And get Jackson Merrill on the bronze. All right, Buster Posey, Lee, Will Clark, and then 1 out of 35, Wilson Contreras. I've been trying to figure out who Jackson Merrill's agent is to see if I can talk to his mom about coming into the shop to do a signing. Not his mom to do the signing, but to get him to come in for not a ridiculous price. But I don't know who his agent is or who his PR team is. We have Bryce Eltridge. Ho, 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 ho. We got one, boys. A 101. Superfractor. Jacob Wilson. Gonna go to the Athletics. And Manuel Hernandez. How you doing, Mac the Gamer? I'm sorry if I responded super late. I didn't see that. Nice. On this Superfractor. Yeah, PCA and Vladdy Jr. Yeah, that's a big boy. Just so you know, I'm going to post it on the baseball group because, on the one that's like the 70K baseball group, because what's his name? Parlay J knows the guy that does a Superfractor tracker so that he can track that one, because I know they have a list of trying to figure out all the Superfractors for the National. So I am going to post in the big baseball group, so if you get a bunch of people that message you trying to buy it, I apologize. I'm not going to drop your name unless you want me to, but my advice would be honestly to say if you're not too, like if you're not like a huge Jacob Wilson fan, I would almost find somebody to sell that to be honest. I'd almost put it on eBay and sell it. Put it for like, I don't know, $2,000 maybe, and just take an offer on it. But if you're a Wilson fan, just hold it till he, like right when he's about to get caught up, then sell it. Unless you just want to keep it for your PC, man. I'm all for collecting, but you could add a lot of pieces to your PC for what this guy's worth. I was going to say, but it's a dope card. Anyways, let's get into the rest of the recap. We have a $2.99 Purple Speckle. Wilson Contreras out of 35. Jackson Merrill on the bronze. We're going to have Albies and Acuna on the patch out of 49. We've got a 150 Otani. Wade Meckler out of 99. Balasovic out of 299. Out of 99, Lindor and Alonso. We're going to have the Campanella out of 50. We're going to... Okay, here comes Austin. We have Lee on the Canvas collection. We're going to have Adrian Beltre out of 35. We have Marte out of 150. We have Olsen on the Aqua Lava. We have DeLuca on the Green Wave. Yu Darvish on the Fuchsia Speckle. Tyler Fitzgerald on the 89 out of 99 Green Wave. Then we're going to have Muncy out of 99. JP Martinez on the base autograph. Now we're going to have Austin's hit board. Austin's hit board coming up. I didn't even realize it was a rookie card when we were going over it. I was going to say, then we're going to have Edgar Martinez on the 25 out of 50. And then we're going to have Jung-Hoo Lee, rookie autograph gold parallel. And last but not least, Jacob Wilson, National Sports Collectors Convention. 101 on the Superfractor. And that is the break. I appreciate y'all as always. You guys have a good day. You guys have a good rest of your night. Tomorrow, like I said, full case of blasters, Topps Chrome. I'll throw up another mixer as well that has some museum collection and Topps Chrome hobby boxes in it. Probably won't be random teams. Yeah. Probably would have been. I'm trying to see if I have other stuff back in, like, just sitting around the shop that maybe I missed and stashed somewhere that would add a little bit of something a little bit different than what we've been doing with the mixers. Because if not, I might not throw up a mixer. I might just throw up that Topps Chrome blaster case and do some I think that's what I'll probably do. I think I'm just going to do the Topps Chrome. I think we're going to do the Topps Chrome blaster case tomorrow, and I'll do we'll pre-fill a case of Trinity and maybe 2 cases of Finest. And I'll get the price list going for Finest, and the pre-fills will be through the website just because when I'm running the same type of break and the same day, it's just easier to do the pre-fill through the website. If for whatever reason you have to pay Venmo and you cannot pay through the website on PayPal, please let me know after it drops. I mean, you can't claim teams before it drops, but after it drops, send me a message like 5 minutes after it drops, and I will just pull the team for you and pay me on Venmo right away, and I'll mark it as paid and put your name down on the list. I know there's some guys that just had issues with their credit cards paying or don't use PayPal or their PayPal accounts are locked. But through the website, it's really like 3 buttons. Let me look up and see what we were trying to look up. What did you want to look up, Brad? I forget. Or what were we talking about? There's something I said I'd look up at the end of this video and show it to you. But I can't remember now. That's it. Topps Finest price. Let me look. 2023 Topps. Oh. Last year they were $235. This year it looks like they're going to be $300 on the Topps website. So you're right. They did about what's calculator? 65 divided by 235. So they increased by 27%. So you were right. Now, I don't know what the pre-order... I can try to see if I can find what the pre-order price was, because the pre-order price was not $300. Oh. Finest. I think it was less, but either way, it's still like a 25% increase. which I don't agree with. I can see like it. Look, if they put it up to like 275 or like 250, 265, I think no one would complain about it because of inflation, like gas costs more, whatever else. But I do think that Southwest Cardboard, there's no way that's a real place. I can't find the pre-order. I didn't. Yeah, I think the pre-order was 280 if I'm not mistaken, or 285. It wasn't quite 300. But they could come out less than 300 tomorrow. Everybody has it at 300, so Topps could come out a little bit below 300. But yeah, man, I agree with you. 30% is a little bit too much to increase boxes by. I don't disagree with that statement at all. And that's even coming from somebody on my side of it where, like, I mean, the 30% doesn't really help me because they obviously raise what the allocation price is too, right? They're not going to allocate at the same price they allocated at last year. But yeah, no, I agree. I will say I think they're really trying to push to where like you either have a lot of money and you can rip open your own boxes, or they're trying to force people into retail, or they're trying to make people into breaks. Like retails or break is where they're really trying to go. I don't think they're necessarily trying to intentionally price people out of the hobby. I think they don't realize it. Like from the discussions I've had with my rep is I think they truly don't think that they're pricing people out of the hobby. Like they don't see it as that because they're not getting the right feedback. Because what happens, right, is every month I gotta send them a list of every break. Like actually, I have to go fill it out tomorrow, and I have to let them know what I broke, what price I broke it at, this and that. And so what happens is if you get guys like Filth Bomb, right? I'm just using Filth Bomb. There's nothing wrong with Filth Bomb. I'm not bashing them in any which way. Obviously, much bigger than what I do, a much, much bigger operation, right? And they break a lot of stuff. Their prices are pretty decent. They're not the best, but they're not terrible. They're not like backyard breaks prices. But if they're breaking something and they say, hey, and I'm just going to use random numbers. These aren't real numbers of what boxes. Let's say it's Topps Chrome, right? And I'm going to use rounded numbers because it's easier to explain that way. Let's say that they are selling the boxes at $500 a box. And a case then, a jumbo case is 8 times 5 is $4,000. Let's say that that's what they're breaking it at. They're going to tell Topps, hey, I broke this box from the beginning at $4,000 whenever it came out at $400 a box. So why wouldn't Topps raise the price? Because they're seeing it as, oh, well, the breakers can break it for this much, so why shouldn't we take more money out of it and raise the price? Because clearly people can afford $500 and think the product's $500. Yeah, and that's what. So they're trying. Like, it's funny because every time you go to like a Topps conference or whatever, they either. Oh, what I was gonna say, so I can wrap up that point real quick before I bounce to this thing about the kids. But what they do is they collect. The only data they're collecting is from breakers. So if you're only collecting data from breakers, like the price that I sell the cases at is going to be higher than what I'd sell in a store. Obviously because I gotta pay Dylan, I gotta pay Tyler to sort. It's time. I mean, I love talking to you guys and breaking. Like, I'll sit on here if we ever did like a Q&A and I knew I wouldn't get in like any trouble about giving honest answers and my opinions at all. If like someone from Topps or whoever else like watched this back. Obviously these answers don't do anything because I'm just explaining kind of what the back end is without using anything. But yeah, so that's all more money, right? I gotta pay at least. And earlier today, someone tried to call me out about my pricing. Like, in general, especially with the post office pricing going up, I got to charge every break I price in $150 for shipping. Is it always $150? No, but it's just a number that works because some breaks it ends up being, like, more than that. If you live in California, because we're in Maryland, shipping to, like, Brian Thomas, no matter what, it's like $7 now. No, it's actually like $8 now if anything's over 8 ounces. So, I mean, obviously, guys that are multiple breaks, like, I'm going to come up with a system over time now that I have like Dylan and everybody to where I can try to do something where like frequent buyers get like a break credit on shipping somehow because I just have more people to do data entry, essentially. Just data entry, right? Like, because I'm only like one person, right? So I can only do so much, and sometimes I forget I can't do so much because I have a lot of ideas on how to even make the break group better than what it already is, especially if we keep growing. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things where the way it's going, what they say and what they're doing is like a little bit different. They do mention every single time though we have like a convention or whatever that hey, like we want to figure out how to attract the mom and the daughter and the mom and the son into the store. Not necessarily the dad, because let's be honest, if any of us are in the hobby, we're gonna bring our son or daughter or whoever with us to the card store, and the kid's either gonna be interested in it, whether it's Pokemon or baseball. But in general, like if your kid's interested in Pokemon and I carry Pokemon, and your kids come to get Pokemon and you see baseball cards, you might be more likely to buy um, everything else I keep, Jeff. Let's see how you doing, buddy. I was gonna say it's just one of those things where I don't know if they're doing it right. I know they're trying to get more retail, like more blasters, more megas into the hobby shops themselves to give them that retail option. But then the hobby shop has to not be a greedy prick about it. And like for instance, I got 10 blasters from GTS. These other cases I have are for breaks. That's why I asked if you guys want to break them or whatever. But I got 10 from GTS, and I'll order another 10 this week, and I'll take 10 or how many ever they give me every week, right? I paid $39.50 for them. I sell them in my shop for $45. Like, literally, I'm making like $3 on a blaster. Because I care. Like, obviously, it's a business. But, in general, I want to make sure that, like, when people come in, they're like, oh, it's $45 to get a blaster here. I'm not getting banged over the head for $60 because Joey, the asshole at Charm City, cleared out the shelf at Walmart. Not that I'm clearing out shelves on Walmart in general, but if someone's charging $60 for a blaster, they would assume that I clear out the shelf at Walmart, right? Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those things where I understand, and on top of that, like I think the big issue too is that Fanatics is not tone deaf in a sense, but like the economy is really bad, and um they're not taking that into account. I understand inflation went up, but the economy is not good for the consumer in general. So the fact they're not doing anything price wise to kind of help that or keeping the prices low, um, is kind of strange to me too. Because I feel like you could keep a lot of people in the hobby if you get the prices. Because that $5 matters. Like as dumb as that sounds, um, yeah, I don't. I complained about it too, man. The blaster cases I'm gonna run, I'm gonna try to see how much it is to ship because I know it's a shit ton of cards. But I'm gonna definitely keep the price down. The price will probably be close to if you know who Jacob Salaki is, Saliki, however he says. I think it's Salaki. Um, well, this is just because it was an Astros card. But Salaki, it'll probably be around. It'll probably be a little bit cheaper than his, just because like obviously I get my stuff a little bit cheaper than his. But I'm gonna use the same rough price ratios because he breaks a lot of retail and a lot of guys hop in his stuff, and he's pretty good at pricing out the retail stuff. Uh, yeah, it's one of those things too where blasters, at least they're doing the buyback program. Like that was a good idea. I'll just say that helps individuals. I thought that I personally, I wrote an email about how they could make it better. They had a suggestion box and said, "Hey, write us an email about how you think you make the MVP buyback better." And I told them, I said, "Why don't you guys do Rookie of the Year too? Why don't you guys do MVP buybacks at um, MVP buybacks at $20, and then you do Rookie of the Year buybacks at like $10." I don't know if you'll get a lot of guys selling them. I mean, I don't think there'll be a lot of guys turning in their base rookies. Um, for because I mean, if a guy wins Rookie of the Year, like let's say it's Paul, well, Paul Skeens might not even be an option because he's going to be an update. Um, but I'm saying, like, let's say it's Jackson Merrill, right? I mean, obviously, I don't think he's going to be Paul Skeens at this point unless Skeens just goes into the shitter a couple starts, right? But let's say Jackson Merrill won Rookie of the Year. If you offer $10 for every Jackson Merrill base rookie card, I'm sure there's going to be some people that hand in their base Jacksons. I think they're like 130. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 95% sure they're 130, Brian. But anyways, I'm going to get off. I'm going to take this picture of the Superfractor and post it into the Big Baseball group. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the blaster case. Hopefully it fills. Like I said, if anybody wants any blasters, let me know. I have a case here that I can send some stuff sealed. They're obviously going to be around the same price. If you get a few, I can probably do a little bit under $40 if you want a couple blasters. The Jacob Wilson Superfractor for the National. But yeah, and Brad, if you're ever down this way, stop in the shop. I probably won't be here, but like you can meet Dylan, Rodney, and Tyler or whatever. Most like 4 days a week they're working all together. The other 2 of the days during the week there's only 2 of them. But if you're ever down this way, because I know you live up like by Bel Air, so I would never tell you to come down here compared to Bel Air. Bel Air has everything I have for about the same price, if not maybe a little bit better sometimes. I'm not a fan of Sims, but that's because I own back end between me and Kyle a little bit of beef, but that's because he's going to be a businessman. I know, I'm just saying if you're ever down here, like if you're on this side of the bridge or tunnel, well, I guess not bridge, tunnel now. If you're on this side of the tunnel ever, swing on by. I was going to say, but yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night and be safe. I'll catch y'all later.